How do narcissists spy on your life? There's something deeply unsettling about realizing that someone who once tried to control you is still watching. You left. You healed. You built a life that no longer orbits their chaos. And yet, they're still there, lurking, monitoring, watching your life unfold from the shadows. Not out of love, not out of concern, but out of something far more disturbing, the need to maintain power over your life, even when they no longer have a place in it. Narcissists don't just let go. They can't, because for them, losing you isn't just about losing a relationship, it's about losing control. And control is the foundation of everything they do. So when you walk away, they don't just disappear. They adapt. They find ways to stay connected, however subtly, however quietly. And they do it through surveillance. But not the kind of surveillance you see in movies. No, narcissists don't need hidden cameras or tracking devices. They use something far more accessible: people, technology, and psychological manipulation. They find ways to stay in your orbit, sometimes without you even realizing it. They follow your social media from fake accounts. They ask mutual friends about your life. They insert themselves into your digital space in ways that feel like coincidence but are anything but. So how exactly do narcissists spy on your life? What methods do they use? And more importantly, how can you recognize their tactics so you can finally break free? Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of narcissistic surveillance, not to scare you, but to empower you. We'll explore the real behavior psychologists observe in narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, the subtle and not so subtle ways they try to stay in your life, and why their obsession with your presence is less about you and more about their need to feel powerful. Because the truth is, they don't miss you. They miss the control. And the more you understand their tactics, the easier it becomes to reclaim your own life. So if you've ever felt like someone was watching you, even from a distance, if you've ever noticed strange patterns, cryptic messages, or people bringing up details they shouldn't know, stay with us until the end. What we're about to uncover might finally explain why they can't seem to let go, and how you can finally move forward. Before we begin, if you found value in videos like this one, if the insights shared here have brought clarity or comfort, we encourage you to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with someone who may be healing from a toxic connection. Your support helps reach others who need these truths most. Thank you for being part of this journey. Let's begin. The idea of being watched is something most people find unsettling. But for those who have left a narcissist, it's often a reality they don't realize until much later. Narcissists don't just move on when a relationship ends. They don't just walk away and forget. No, they stay. They watch. They search for ways to remain connected, even if only in the background. And they do it in ways that aren't always obvious. They don't always show up in person. They don't always send messages. Instead, they manipulate others, use technology, and exploit psychological patterns to stay in your life without ever being truly present. Let's break it down. 1. They use social media to monitor you from a distance. This is perhaps the most common and easiest way a narcissist spies on you. Even if you've blocked them, they often create fake accounts or use someone else's profiles to keep up with your life. They track your posts, your stories, your updates. They see who you're with, where you're going, and what you're doing, even if you never intended for them to know. They don't do this out of concern or curiosity. They do it to maintain a psychological presence in your life. Every post they see, every photo they study, every update they read, it's a way for them to feel like they still matter to you, like they are still a part of your world, even if only from the outside. 2. They ask mutual friends and family for updates. Narcissists often don't do all the surveillance themselves. Instead, they enlist others to do it for them. They reach out to mutual friends, siblings, co-workers, or even your own family members under the guise of casual conversation. They might say things like, "I haven't seen them in a while. How are they doing? Do you still talk to them? I hope they're okay." These questions may seem harmless, but they're not. They are probing. They are searching for information. And the people they ask often don't realize they are being used as tools for surveillance. They are not out to hurt you directly. They are out to know what's happening in your life, so they can feel like they still have some kind of influence, some kind of connection. 3. They create situations where you have to interact with them. Sometimes, narcissists don't just watch from a distance. They create situations where you have to respond. They might comment on a post you liked. They might show up at places you frequent. They might send you a message that seems like a mistake. "Oh, I didn't mean to message you," when in reality, it was completely intentional. These behaviors aren't random. They are calculated. They want to test your boundaries. They want to see if you'll respond. And if you do, even once, it confirms that they still have some kind of power over you. 4. They use technology to stay connected. Even if you block them, they find ways to stay in your digital space. They might create new profiles to follow you. They might like or comment on your posts using fake accounts. They might even try to access your information through shared contacts or mutual connections. Some narcissists go as far as trying to hack into your account or monitor your digital activity through indirect means. While this is more extreme, it's not unheard of, and the goal is always the same: to maintain a sense of presence in your life, even when they no longer have direct access. 5. They insert themselves into your life through shared responsibilities. If you share children, property, or legal matters with a narcissist, they will use those situations as an excuse to stay involved. They'll stretch out conversations. They'll create unnecessary conflicts. They'll use every opportunity to remind you that they're still there. Even if the topic is neutral, like child custody or finances, they'll twist the conversation to keep you emotionally engaged. They'll bring up the past. They'll imply that things could be different. They'll remind you of moments you wish you could forget. Because for them, it's not about resolving issues. It's about staying relevant. It's about proving that they still have a place in your life, no matter how small. 6. They reach out through people you know. Narcissists know that you may have cut them off completely. So instead of contacting you directly, they go through others. They'll ask people close to you about your life, your relationships, your emotional state. And sometimes they don't even ask outright. They drop hints, make subtle inquiries, or frame their questions in a way that makes them seem harmless. They might say things like, "I wonder how they're doing," or "I hope they're happy," in front of someone who knows you. That's not concern. That's surveillance. That's manipulation. That's their way of getting information without being the one to ask directly. 7. They reappear at unexpected moments. One of the most chilling signs that a narcissist is still watching you is a sudden reappearance at moments that feel too coincidental to ignore. They show up at the same event you're attending. They comment on something you posted just hours ago. They seem to know details about your life that they shouldn't. These aren't just coincidences. They are deliberate. They are planned. They want to remind you that they are still watching, that they are still present, that they haven't truly disappeared. And the more you react to these moments, the more you question their presence, the more you wonder what they know, the more power they feel they still have over you. 8. They use psychological tactics to influence your thoughts. Even if they can't reach you directly, narcissists often engage in psychological manipulation that makes you feel like they are still in your head. They might send cryptic messages disguised as coincidence. They might say something that seems random but clearly references something you once said or did. These behaviors are not about communication. They are about control. They want to remind you that they are still thinking about you, that they are still watching, that they still know how to get under your skin. And for someone who has already walked away, these moments can be deeply unsettling. They make you question whether you're truly free, whether you really escaped. But here's the truth. You did walk away. You did escape. And the fact that they still tried to stay in your life proves how much power you actually took from them. 9. They use third parties to send you messages. Sometimes, narcissists don't reach out directly because they know you won't respond. Instead, they use other people as messengers. They tell someone you know, "Tell them I was thinking about them." Or they'll say something vague like, "I hope they're doing well," knowing full well that person will relay the message to you. They don't want to say it themselves. They want you to hear it through someone else. Because that way, they avoid accountability. They avoid direct confrontation. But they still get to make sure you know they are still thinking about you. And for a narcissist, that's what matters most. Not whether you respond, but whether you know they are still there. 10. They follow you in real life. While not every narcissist does this, some go to extreme lengths to stay involved in your life. They might drive by your house. They might show up at the same places you frequent. They might even follow you on your daily routes, or while pretending it's a coincidence. This kind of behavior is not just unsettling, it's dangerous, because it shows that they are not just emotionally attached to your presence. They are physically invested in keeping you in their world. And if you start noticing patterns, seeing them in places they have no reason to be, it's important to trust your instincts. Document what's happening. Protect yourself. And remember, this is not about you. This is about their need to feel powerful, even when they have no right to be involved in your life anymore. 11. They stay connected through shared interests or hobbies. If you have a hobby, a job, or a passion they once shared, they'll often continue participating in those spaces just to stay near you. If you post about your art, they might follow your page. If you're part of a community, they might linger in the background just to keep tabs on you. They don't have to interact. They just have to see. They just have to know. And that's enough for them to feel like they still have a place in your life. 12. They monitor your online activity through indirect means. Beyond just watching your public posts, narcissists often use indirect ways to track your life. They might follow pages or groups you're part of. They might search for your name in search engines, looking for any mention of you online. They might even use online tools to see if you've changed your status, your job, or your location. They don't do this out of curiosity. They do it out of obsession. Because for them, losing someone who once gave them emotional fuel is like losing a part of their identity. And they'll do whatever it takes to feel connected again, even if it means watching you from afar. 13. They use public records and search engines to track you. In some cases, narcissists go beyond digital stalking and use public records to track your life. They might search for your name to see if you've moved, changed jobs, or updated your status. They might look up your new address, your phone number, or your professional profiles. They tell themselves it's harmless, that they are just checking in. But the truth is, they are trying to maintain a presence in your life without your consent. And that's not just invasive, it's a violation of your personal space. 14. They try to trigger reactions through indirect communication. Even if you've cut them off, narcissists often attempt to provoke you into responding. They might post something that clearly references your past together. They might comment on content that reminds you of them. They might send messages through other people that are meant to get a reaction from you. They don't care if you respond. They just want you to feel something. Because as long as you react, as long as you feel something, they believe they still have a place in your mind. 15. They use psychological projection to justify their behavior. Narcissists rarely see their actions as invasive or controlling. Instead, they project their own intentions onto you. They might say things like, "I know you still think about me. I bet you still watch my life from a distance. You're the one who can't let go." They do this to shift the blame, to make you feel like you're the one who can't move on. But the truth is, they're the ones who can't let go. And they use these psychological tactics to make you question your own boundaries, your own choices, your own peace. 16. They stay connected through shared experiences or memories. Narcissists often replay moments from your past in their minds. They rewrite history. They relive conversations. They dwell on moments where they felt powerful, where they felt in control. And the more they do this, the more they convince themselves that you're still part of their story. Even if you've completely disappeared from their life, they still carry you with them. Not as a person, not as someone they truly loved, but as a symbol of their own failure to maintain control. And that's why they keep watching, why they keep searching, why they keep inserting themselves into your world in subtle, unsettling ways. 17. They watch you to reclaim a sense of power. Ultimately, the reason narcissists spy on your life has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them, with their need to feel powerful, with their fear of being forgotten, with their inability to cope with rejection. You walked away. You stopped feeding their ego. You stopped playing their games. And that's something they cannot easily accept. So they try to regain control in the only way they know how, by watching, by tracking, by staying connected, even from a distance. But here's the empowering truth. You don't have to let them in. You don't have to give them your energy. You don't have to let their presence, real or imagined, define your peace. Because the moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop looking back, the moment you stop questioning their behavior, you strip them of the power they crave most. And that's the moment they begin to fade from your life for good. In conclusion, narcissists don't just let go. They don't simply move on. They use a variety of tactics, some subtle, some disturbing, to stay connected to your life long after you've walked away. From social media monitoring to indirect communication, from mutual friends to psychological manipulation, they find ways to insert themselves into your world without ever truly being there. But understanding these behaviors is a first step toward reclaiming your life. Because once you recognize their tactics for what they are, not a sign of love, not a sign of interest, but a desperate attempt to maintain control, you begin to see the truth. You are the one who holds the power. You walked away. You set boundaries. You chose yourself over their chaos. And that's what haunts them most. Not that you left, but that you left without looking back. So keep going. Keep healing. Keep reclaiming your space. Because the more you step into your own truth, the less mental space they will occupy. And that's the moment they finally lose. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing it with someone who may be on the path to healing. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts, your experiences, and how you're rebuilding your life after toxicity. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Remember, healing is not a straight line. It's full of ups and downs, moments of strength, and moments where you may feel uncertain. But every step you take away from their chaos brings you closer to your truth. Keep going. Keep growing. Keep reclaiming your power. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself. Stay grounded. And never stop believing in your own worth.